Hey guys, what's going on? This is Deadly. Welcome back to another Q&A session. Can you believe it? It's already been 12 weeks of QAs, and you guys keep on asking some really great questions. So as long as you guys are keeping on being active in the comment section and asking questions, I will do my best to keep these going every single Sunday on the channel. So let's get started. First question comes from Schematic. Any tips for upcoming DayZ YouTubers and how to get more content for YouTube? Well, what helps is playing DayZ a lot and recording a lot. So I record everything that I do thanks to OBS Studio and Shadowplay and NVEC codec. It allows me to record hours and hours of content at a reasonable quality with a nice file size. So you're going to need a lot of hard drive space, and you're also going to need a computer that is able to run DayZ and also record at the same time. I'm obviously not the biggest YouTuber in the world. I think that's a bit of a misconception. I got a lot of followers and I get a lot of views sometimes on some of my videos, but I'm not getting hundreds of thousands of views per upload. But I will say that if you are looking to get better and you are looking to grow a channel, I think consistency is incredibly important. Uploading quality content on a 5 to 7 days a week is ideal. I actually think uploading a video every single day is the gold standard of growing a YouTube channel, and other YouTubers agree. So that's a very difficult question to answer in just one QA session alone. That almost deserves its own video. Next question comes from Jackson Nealons. Deadly, do you have a wife or girlfriend, and does she sometimes play with you or other games? By the way, love your videos. Yeah, I've been dating my girlfriend for 8 years. And we've been together since high school. She's not much of a video gamer. She is super into comics and like The Walking Dead and DC and Marvel and things like that. So we're both kind of nerds, but we're interested in different things. I'm into video games. She's more into other things. So we do play some games together sometimes, but it's usually old school stuff like N64, some Xbox games, Telltale games, things like that. Next question comes from Tricky Troll. Do you ever get tired of DayZ and think that until its release you might at some point lose the motivation to play it? Probably not, and the reason why is because my live stream is built around DayZ, but DayZ doesn't necessarily make the live stream. So we almost run like a podcast every single day, and DayZ is the visual content. And every now and again, something really entertaining happens, like we run into a survivor or I get a cool PvP clip. And since I'm constantly recording, I upload those highlights to my YouTube channel. But for the most part, like 90% of the live stream is just me shooting the shit with the viewers and just having a good time. And because of that reason, I think I'm going to be playing DayZ until I get tired of DayZ, or there's another game that piques my interest and takes me away from DayZ. But as long as I'm streaming and there's an audience for DayZ, I'm probably going to be playing that game. But I know it's probably going to be ending at some point in the future. But DayZ is really just starting to grow in the right direction. So I think that this game does have a couple more years left, especially since all these new updates have been so exciting. Next question comes from Tommy. Where do you live now? Nova Scotia, Newfoundland? If Nova Scotia is sick, it would be the first YouTuber I know that lives there. No, I'm actually from Prince Edward Island, Canada. My family was born here. I'm from here, but I actually grew up a lot in Ontario. I lived in Ontario from 97 till 2005, and those were like big years for me. So I moved back in 2005, went to high school here, I did some university, lived here for a little while, lived in Ottawa for a little while. So I've been spending like a good portion of my life in Ontario and a good portion of my life on PEI. But there are other YouTubers that are from PEI actually, and I don't know them personally, but they do run gaming channels and other things, and there's some Twitch live streamers. I don't know any massive Twitch streamers that are from PEI, but I would love to meet some someday. Next question comes from Emil. Do you think that small channels like mine, Nuke Thing, will ever be a big playing DayZ? I think that's really up to the content creator, because you can produce videos all you want, But unless they're entertaining, people won't really watch them. Entertaining or informative or have a purpose for them. It's also important to try to find your niche, because you can't just be doing something exactly the same as somebody else. And I think I learned that back from my World of Warcraft days with my leveling shows. Nobody else was doing them, and it actually built a really nice audience. Now, mind you, I didn't stick with World of Warcraft. I moved to DayZ, but I initially started off creating DayZ content. I took a lot of inspiration from other YouTubers, but eventually I stopped watching YouTube content for DayZ. I don't watch DayZ YouTubers. I hate to break it to you guys, because I'm so afraid of becoming lethargic and watching other people's content and copying them, like inadvertently or in my subconscious. And I know there's a lot of DayZ PvP YouTubers out there. So I do not watch other DayZ content creators. And I'm friends with other content creators, and it probably breaks their heart to hear that, but it's just who I am. If I start watching a lot of YouTubers in my category, I just break down creatively and I just cannot produce. So I need to avoid that. I know there's a lot of overlap. I know there's a lot of DayZ news channels, a lot of DayZ PvP channels, but I try to give you guys a mix of everything and with my own personality and opinion. And I think that's kind of what's drawing people to my channel, or at least I hope it is. Next question comes from Simon Ryberg. Do you think they'll add loot back to the Hummers and the brown cars? I think he's referring to the military UAZs or UAZs. Yeah. I believe that there will be loot on those vehicles again, but not like before. There was a lot of loot on Bradleys or BTRs or BMPs, UAZs, rusted out Urals, and almost too much military loot. So I would love it to make it a little bit more rare. Like if you searched one of those vehicles, there was a chance that you could find some ammo for maybe like an AK or AKM, but nothing crazy like it was before. Like Chinea Polana near Novo was actually one of the best military places to loot in the East because of how much loot was in that junkyard because of all the Urals and UAZs or UAZs. Next question comes from DJ. Do you earn enough money for your living and recording gear and stuff like that because you have 50,000 subscribers? No. The amount of money that you make on YouTube has nothing to do with the amount of subscribers that are on your channel. It has everything to do with monetizable impressions. So a rate per 1,000 monetized views. And that can range anywhere between $1 and $3.50 or even more if you have a targeted ad buy. I'm not going to get into it. But in short, I make about $600 a month on a good month for my YouTube channel right now. Sometimes less, like in January. Just the way YouTube works, that will probably be cut in half. And on my Twitch channel, I make a little bit more than that. I make about $1,200 now in subscription revenue and a few donations here and there. So I'm definitely making more than minimum wage, but also taxes. So not much more than minimum wage right now. So don't get the impression that people who are my size on YouTube and Twitch are high rollers and I'm just making a ridiculous amount of money, because that is not the case. In fact, I wasn't making any money for a full year or more. I've only recently been able to actually save some money and actually invest it into the channel. So I think it's a common misconception. Channels my size, if I was just doing YouTube and I wasn't doing Twitch, I would not be able to do this full time. So I get about 350,000 monthly impressions. In order for me to do this full time and make a decent living at it, I would need to be making like 1 to 2 million monthly views on this channel. So Twitch is just a completely different story. And that's why I do both of them at the same time, because they help each other grow, and financially, I can actually do this full time for a channel of my size. Next question comes from Canadian Goose. Are you going to be continuing the survivalist series or starting a new survivalist series? Or even interested in roleplay whenever you can pick up certain items? That would be quite cool. And this is also to all of the other people who have been asking me about the survivalist series. Yes, I do plan on continuing that video series. However, I'm going to be waiting until 0.61 reaches stable branch. I think it's going to be a lot more interesting to go out there and hunting animals with all the new sounds. With wolves introduced into the game, it's going to be an additional threat. More zombies will just make the survivalist series a lot more interesting. And I feel that currently in the game, I've done everything that I needed to accomplish with the survivalist series for now. But I do plan on continuing it in the future. Next question comes from Dennis. Deadly, do you think the Mosin long range scope returns? Yeah, I think Hicks has already talked about this. Eventually, you're going to be able to get a weapon rail, take that rail to a weapon bench, attach that onto the Mosin, and then find the hunting scope or whatever optic that works with that rail and attach it to the Mosin. When that is going to be introduced into the game remains to be seen, probably until after beta, so quite some time from now. Next question comes from Max Fusion. Deadly, when can all the Twitch subscribers play? I would really love to get on. Every single Saturday morning starting at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I play with all of my subscribers. You should have been notified whenever you hit the subscription button on my Twitch channel, but if not, just show up on a Saturday morning and we'll invite you into the Discord or TeamSpeak, whatever we're using for the day, and we'll get you the server IP. It is required that you must have a microphone though, so you can't just jump in and be completely voiceless. You need a mic to play, and you need to know how to use TeamSpeak and basic navigational skills in DayZ. Last question comes from Boydie DayZ. Who are your favorite DayZ content creators that you reckon are undersubbed, such as Super for the Win LOL, Barely Infected, etc.? Or Barely Infected, definitely somebody that I've watched in the past. Blink Tactics as well, Danny Plays. But like I mentioned earlier, I don't really watch DayZ content creators. I watch a lot of Twitch broadcasters like Minder and Marksham TV, Six Max, obviously Aces, The Running Man. So I do watch a lot of Twitch broadcasters, but I really don't watch any DayZ content creators because it does affect my creativity. I know that I'm surrounded by really amazing creators, some of which I could definitely learn from if I just watch their content, but I'm trying to avoid that. But a great question, Boydie, and I wish you the best of luck with your channel as well, because I see that you comment about some of your videos every now and again. Well, guys, it is 3:30 in the morning, and I am exhausted. But I really want to thank you guys so much. All these questions, so many questions. I apologize for not getting to every single one of you guys. There was 73 questions that was on my channel. I try to pick the best ones to make a common theme. This one is obviously about YouTube. But if you guys want to ask me anything, or if I missed your question from last week, make sure that you guys leave it in the comment section below. I will do my best to include it one of these weeks. If you keep on commenting, I promise I will get to you eventually. And if you guys have urgent questions, just pop on my live stream every single morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm here all the time on Twitch. Just pop into my channel and ask away, and I'll do my best to get to you. Have a great weekend, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.